Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Today we're going to take a look at the Radioddity DB25D. I wasn't expecting that to rhyme, but it did. Let's get over on the bench and see what this thing is all about. This is the Radioddity GD88. This has been a friend of the channel for a while. I have quite a few videos on this, including a video that I get a lot of compliments on about how to do a code plug for programming this, and kind of a different metaphor than most people do. I also have a whole bunch of videos on making up DMR hotspots and getting yourself on DMR and so forth, and apparently I need to make a new one because they've changed the look and feel of the website and the application since I made the video. Okay, I'll make another one. Stay tuned for that too. I have also done a video on the very big brother of this, the DB50. That is out in the wild as well. However, today starts off the DB25D series. I just got this radio in my hot little hands here, so we're going to give you an introduction of what comes in the box and what to expect with this when you get it, and then talk about where we're going to go on the channel from here. Because first things first, I got to figure out if there's anything missing or if there's anything else I need in order to take this radio on the vision quest that I have for it. So let's get her open and see what's in here. Oh, this is pretty nice. It's actually fairly well packaged. I like it. There is a good user's manual here. This is all English, and it is 50 plus pages. 54 pages, including the back jacket, and they have an extended manual on the website, and there are a couple of documents on the website about like how to do APRS and other things. One thing that Radioddity does very well is customer support, so if you have any questions, make sure you reach out to them and they will help you out. We get 3 little boxes in here. I know I'm going to open the wrong box first, so we'll do this in whichever order they come, and we will enjoy whatever happens. Oh, nope, I opened the right box first. This is the radio. This is how small this thing is. This is great. This is what, oh, hold on. Jeez, can't get anywhere these days without doing a screen peel. Ah, all right, got it. This is what I was interested in this radio the most for, was its form factor. Look at that, there's 2 antenna connectors. We'll talk about that in a second. Its form factor. This is great. Does this small size, this small form factor remind you of anything? What about this guy here, where we did a micro manpack build not too long ago on the channel? Look at that size difference. So it's a little tiny bit wider, but if you turn it that way, it's not at all. So this is going to be a pretty interesting little setup for when we get rocking and rolling on this thing. So if you haven't seen this video, I will leave it linked up at the corner up there for you. This has been a fun little radio as well, and I have another one of these that I need to play with on the channel also. Okay, so a radio, and it has a typical mobile radio T-connector power connector on it, and a single fuse, and like I showed you before, it's got 2 antenna ports. This is for 2 meter 70 centimeter signal, or your DMR signal, since this one also does DMR, and this one here is for GPS. That's right, this thing's got a GPS built into it. That's actually a really good looking radio too. Next box in the series. Okay, we've got accessories. Right, on the accessories front, we have a mobile mounting bracket. We have the mounting screws to go with the mounting bracket. And we have a microphone that has a speaker in it. So there's a speaker and there is a mic hole, and it's an RJ45 jack. So that means that we can get data out of this connection. We can do audio in, audio out, and PTT. And those are the things that matter to me. That's very easy to figure out. That just plugs right into the front. It's got a little boot on it to make it look all pretty and not get snagged up. Last box. The only thing left in here is the GPS antenna. Oh, cigarette lighter plug. I like that. So they give you a cigarette lighter plug and a T connector on this end here. And then we get the programming cable. And this is another thing that I'm finding very interesting, is instead of just the data hole in the front, we have a data hole in the side for your typical K-connector stuff. So very easily I can use this with my APRS K1 cable, or even the new cable that BTEC makes, or my AIOC board, or a new project that's coming out that we're going to talk about soon. So be sure you're subscribed for that. So there is your programming cable, typical chip inside of the USB connector end of things, and K connector on the other side arrangement. And then here is the GPS antenna. Let's get the GPS antenna on, which is kind of awkwardly hidden inside of that area. And before you guys lose your mind over this, this is probably just what this radio needs because of the wattage output on this thing. Let's take a look in the book. This power supply is recommended for current capacity above 12 amps. So there is your information on how much power this thing is going to draw. 13.8 volts DC, 12 amps. And most of your cigarette lighter plugs check it out on your car or device, but most of your cigarette lighter plugs deliver 15 amps. 15 amps delivery on a 12 amp draw is going to be perfect. This is going in my go bag for when I am operating out of my car so I can save my battery power. But of course I'm not in my car, and being an alpha ham, I have plenty of cables just laying around in order to get these jobs done. So one of the beauties of using standard cable connectors is I can do standard cable connector things. All right, we're now plugged into the bench power supply. It's getting dusty and dirty already. Power button on. Powering on. Okay, so this is going to do your DMR channel arrangements. And then we have power button, P1, P2, P3, volume and squelch, tone and T select, and B and E. So push this big button up front, gets you into the menu. But it's interesting because of how this thing is arranged. What actually is the select button and the back button? Okay, so the select button is the push button on the front, but I need the back button. Promiscuous on, promiscuous off. That's the P2 settings, promiscuous mode. Cannot run, we don't know what that is. VOL, don't know what that is. Okay, so BE. Okay, so BE button is back. And now we're back to the beginning. So P1 short press doesn't do anything. P1 long press looks like it turns on Vox. P2, as we described earlier, is promiscuous mode. Turn that off. P2 long press cannot run. So that is a function that can't be done right now from the settings that we're in, and these buttons are programmable inside of the CPS software. Long press on P3 is cannot run, and short press on P3 is cannot run. VOL SQL is set to 3. Okay, so you're not going to accidentally hit the volume button, because you have to hit volume first, and then you can turn the dial to set your volume. And tone is not applicable on digital modes, and T-cell is not available, but it should be. Interesting. All right. Menu, contact, message, call log, scan, zone and channel, local set, language, keypad, backlight, LEDs, display mode, Vox. So that's a microphone there for Vox. The other one was also a microphone when I turned it on, so I'm going to guess that's what it was. Factory reset, back, parameters, timeout timer, power, slot repeat, encryption level, tone set, profiles, key tone, message tone. This is all the beeping tones. G call tone, alert tone, FM call tone. Okay, pressing the BE button changes you from VFO-A to VFO-B. Okay, so there's appendix. Record, device info, channel edit. That's what I wanted. I'm going to switch this to an analog channel. Oh, I didn't save it, that's right. Analog, high power. All right, save to current channel. Yes, I'm sure. Set OK. And now we have switched from digital narrow to FM. Let's do some power tests. And that is not plugged in. Let's plug in our power cord to our power tester so we can do some power tests. That's plugged in. Let's plugged in. Let's get you switched. I can actually get it all in frame. Look at that. Hold on. Look at that massive zoom power right there. All right, so we are in FM mode, and this is 70 centimeters. 20 watts out. Let's take a look over here at my power supply, and it's showing 0.2 amps of current draw. And then we'll transmit, and that's 3.1 amps of current draw transmitting. Let's see about power level. I think we're already on high power. Yep, we're on high power already. Let's change that over to low power. Those are your only two choices. Ah, I forgot to save it again. That's my fault. All right, saved. All right, low power is 4.2 watts. All right, 0.2 on receive, 4.2 watts out, 1.4 amps. Let's change the frequency over. All right, now we're on 146.52, and we will leave it on low power. We will not forget to save this time. All right, this is low power, 2 meters, 4.2, low power, 2 meters, 1.6 amps current draw. Almost forgot to save it. All right, this is high power. (18 watts high power, and almost 3 amps current draw. Open your minds!
What'll it be?
Open your mind!
Coming right up.
So it will work perfectly fine off of the cigarette lighter plug, and we are putting out around 20 watts on high power and around 5 watts on low power. This is going to be going places. I like it. Okay, never ask a rig what it weighs, right? There is the radio at almost 12 ounces. The radio, the microphone, together are 1 pound, 1 ounces. And then I bet with the little tiny current draw that we saw on this radio, if I add a Denko 3 amp hour battery, that's almost 2 pounds, 1 pound, 15.1 ounces, that it will run forever on a 3 amp hour. However, if you are greedy and you want a 6 amp hour, that would be 2 pounds, 8 ounces. The 6 amp hour from Denko. That's just a sexy looking thing right there in that clear plastic shrink. Okay, so where do we go from here with this little lightweight Titan? I mentioned earlier about the AIOC board, so we're definitely going to try that out. You probably won't be able to use this to program the radio, but we're going to try QDMR on Linux and the AIOC board as the interface cable. And then I've got to build a pack, a go bag for all of this stuff to go into. So that's something. We got to play with GPS, we got to play with APRS. Will this thing work with All-Star? Because there's some issues out there about getting this thing to send DTMF tones. So I need to look into all of that stuff. Be sure you are subscribed so you don't miss when those videos come out. There are some links in the description down below where you can get the radio with a nice discount and where you can get the AIOC board, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be fine because that's how you program the radio. So there's definitely, as they say on the side here, SP and MIC coming out in the future. And if that doesn't work, we'll go the RJ45 route, because I'm not afraid of making cables, whether I succeed or not. There's a video right over here I think you might enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.